solo, felt the wind roll like I was a screen door in a thunderstorm. Yeah, I've been down, you've been laid out, but you always were what I came here for. Waiting all day just for my sake, for a bell to ring, for the first sting. Yeah, I've been blue, that ain't nothing new to you, my friend. Why get up again? I've made mistakes and I've been hard hit. I say, so what? So what if I think I'm the clear eye, I'm the comeback kid? It's been a rough year.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is December 5th. It is Thursday. This is episode 785 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Mad Destroyer with his coffee, The Pain, DJ Bisek behind the glass, Augusta Delgado, Space Tacos first in chat, Rhonda Rummerfield in the Low Country, Wilbert Philippe and Port Zero in the Upstate, Casually Joseph dropping bombs, Kimberly can fix it on the lanai, a little chilly, so maybe she's got a long sleeve on today. Whatever it is, we're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders and really, basically, not just do good work, but, be effective and level up and get those promotions and those year-end bonuses. Jelly of the Month Club, not for you. We're talking straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
All right. So also, if you are a one-person operation, hashtag Team Solo in chat. We are your co-workers, unofficially, of course, but you can bounce ideas, ask tips, tools, techniques, not just in chat here, but also in the Simply Cyber Discord server. So giddy up on that. And if you're looking to break into the industry, my friend, let me go full screen on you. If you're looking to break into the industry, you're going to get so much value from this podcast every single day. I promise you, right here. Oh, how do you stay current on the industry? I don't know, maybe just the daily cyber threat brief. Also, learning concepts, terminology, seeing how things work. Listen, it's one thing to read a book or take a webinar or something and learn a concept like, oh, this is cross-site scripting. Like, where do we see cross-site scripting? Who does it? When do they do it? How do you stop it? Why does it make sense? Is it part of the kill chain? These are the pieces that tie everything together. It's not just about understanding the skeleton, if you will. You need to understand the ligaments and the muscular infrastructure of this overall body that is cybersecurity. Plus, the networking is wicked phenomenal. Say hello in chat and let people know what's cracking. Dude, OBS, I'm pushing OBS to its absolute limits right now. I got to tell you. Guys, listen, I want you to know I don't prep or research for any of these stories at all. I don't have time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So I just try to make it straight legit, very authentic. I am coming to you from the mobile studio, which means I am rocking the hashtag Team Sippy Cup that so many people enjoy, drinking hotel coffee, which Mad Destroyer is just rolled his eyes so hard he's fallen back out of his chair. But we do what we have to do. You know, the stream is at 80% quality. This coffee cup is at, we'll say 80% just to make the numbers round, although it's closer to like 30%. Guys, let me tell you really quickly, I want to say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors who enable me to bring this show to you every single morning without interruption. Excuse me. Shout out to Josh Mason for this. Listen. Shout out to Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners in turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Believe that. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. I also want to tell you about Delete Me. Now, before I tell you about Delete Me, I just want you to know, soon as I'm done telling you about Delete Me, I'm going to tell you how this show, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, over the next hour is going to solve your CPE woes. So if you've got a cyber cert, congratulations, but do you know you need to maintain it? Well, let's listen to Delete Me for a hot minute. Thank you, Delete Me, for sponsoring the program, and then I'm going to tell you how these CPEs can just go away and not be an issue. Especially since I share my opinions and hot takes daily, I'm hyper aware of my safety and security, and it's even easier to find personal information about people online these days. All the data is just hanging out there on the internet, and it can have real life consequences. But I recently found a solution, and this service is called Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web, and in the process helps prevent ID theft, doxing, phishing scams, stuff like that. And when you sign up, you tell Delete Me what data you want deleted, and they go off and do it. The cool thing is you get a personalized privacy report every month that shows what they deleted, where they found it, etc. It's pretty cool. For me personally, it's like outsourcing your online privacy, which honestly, I don't have time to do that myself or do it well. So for them to handle it is awesome. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at the special discount for Simply Cyber listeners. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. All right, that's right. So every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE. So say what's up in chat. It'll appear on screen directly above my head. Grab a screenshot. You can use Windows key Shift S. You can use the print screen, but your cell phone, whatever floats your boat, my friends, just do it. And then file it away. Once a year, you count the number of CPEs or the number of screenshots you have, divide by 2 because it's a half a CPE. And boom, shakalaka, just like NBA GM, you are on fire. You picking up what I'm putting down? Ooh, I'm feeling it today. All right, for real. Listen, if today is your first episode and you're like, why is this guy reporting from the dungeon, which looks like it's a hotel, but also is this like one of those boutique hotels that's kind of dodgy? It's not. It's just the way we've made it look. Listen, if today's your first episode, I want to let you know that we want to hear from you. Let us know, hashtag first timer in chat. Hold on. I'm checking out chat here. I'm seeing Jason Hoskins getting some love, scrolling back up. And yes, we have confirmation. Jason Hoskins Jr., blue badge. Thanks for the support, Jason. Yesterday, I got a job offer as a Tier 2 Cyber IR analyst. My man, Jason, let's go. Hell yeah. Way to go, Jason. Super pumped for you. Everybody, if you can, let's get Jason some of those squad emote loves of the Wrecking Ball. I'm super pumped that we have that. Where's my Wrecking Ball? There it is. I got to tell you, I tell people this one-on-one or whatever in small group chats. I love doing the Wrecking Ball, guys. The Wrecking Ball is the sign of crushing it. We got some first-timers. And Haircut Fish, you are not a first-timer. Stop it. Black Recluse 713, welcome to the party, pal. If you guys do see some first-timers in chat, please say hello and drop the John McClane emotes, as we are prone to do. Recluse, there we go. Black Recluse. Okay, guys, hey, check it out. Every single day of the week is got a special segment. Hey, Witherspoon. Every day has a special segment, and guys, Thursdays is What's Your Meme Thursday. This is episode 785. Dan Reardon, a.k.a. Haircut Fish, the first-timer liar in chat, he makes a custom meme every single Thursday for us. And I'm telling you right now, you do not want to go anywhere for the mid-roll. And I don't overpromise, like, ever. The mid-roll, you're going to get absolutely, like, you might want to, I'm just telling you right now, you may want to plan to get a change of pants, because it is so funny. From the CISO series. Hold on, get out of here. I'm not ready for you. It's so funny. It's so funny. So definitely get ready for the meme of the week. That'll be rolling out at the mid-roll. Dude outside a room, first timer, where we at? We're right here, friend. Welcome to the party, pal. Yes, sir. Welcome to the party, pal. Let's get some of that for our friend, Dude outside. Ooh. All right, guys, let's rip through it. We're going to do some jaw jacking at the end of the stream. I do have a flight to catch, so it'll be a pretty tight It'll be a pretty tight transition here, but let's get to it. Your title says 765. Hold on, that can't be right. No, it doesn't. The stream. Hold on. The title of the show says 765. We're gonna need some fact check here. Mods, can we get a fact check on what episode number this is? And I it may have been a typo. I feel like yesterday was 784. Okay. All right, guys, do me a favor. Oh my God, 765. I've been living a lie. I've been living a lie. The humanity. This is what happens when you manually update numbers.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, so please grant me grace. It's the mobile. You know what? I'm just going to throw the mobile studio under the bus again. Here we go. Kimberly can fix it. Oh, he's keeping me honest. Here we go. For those who are in chat, you may... Hold on. What the heck? I literally updated the Chiron and it went away. Dude, restream? Restream, you suspect. All right, guys, do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news
Spicy.
wash over us all in an awesome wave. I will see you guys at the mid-roll.
Cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Thursday, December 5th, 2024. I'm Steve Prentice.
Hey, Steve Prentice.
FBI and CISA urge Americans to use encrypted apps rather than calling. Further developments from the Salt Typhoon attack on U.S. telecommunications companies, officials from both agencies, the FBI and CISA, are recommending that Americans start using encrypted messaging. Speaking to the media on Tuesday, Jeff Green, Executive Assistant Director for Cybersecurity at CISA, along with a senior FBI official who asked not to be named, said they plan to use the same message as they use inside their respective organizations, which is, encryption is your friend. Whether it's on messaging or encrypted voice communications. They also suggest people consider using a cell phone that, quote, automatically receives timely operating system updates, responsibly managed encryption, and phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication for email, social media, and collaboration tools accounts, end quote.
All right, guys. Okay, so this is... Okay, let's talk about what this really is, and then talk about maybe how you might present this to your workforce, and then let's talk about the reality. And grant me some grace on this one, guys, because I got some thoughts on this one, all right? And hey, just really quickly, if you have not seen World War Z with Brad Pitt and you want to see it, you may want to mute me for the next until this story disappears, because there's a lot of parallels here. Okay, listen. Salt Typhoon, aka China, has been way up in. Joel Belton has entered the chat. We'll call it a first timer. He's been, you know, an Excite bike back in the day when you would go full turbo and then your bike would overheat and it would pull over on the side. By the way, Excite bike was an 8-bit early Nintendo game, Gen Z. Anyways, your bike would overheat and then just be like beep beep sitting on the side. That's Joel Belton. Joel Belton has has cooled down and now has entered the chat. Welcome to the party, pal. All right, so listen, Salt Typhoon has been wearing U.S. telecom pants for like a couple weeks, just fully all up in it, greased up, like just swimming around in U.S. telecom. We've known it. CISA has been saying it. FBI has been saying it. Volt Typhoon, a different Chinese-based threat actor, has been going ham up in critical infrastructure, energy and gas, and OT. So the Salt Typhoon getting into the telecoms, it's all part of this larger strategic picture. Now, we know that for weeks, even potentially months, they've been successfully penetrating these environments and setting up persistence and eavesdropping, committing espionage. And the telecoms, the AT&T and Verizons, are saying, we don't know if we'll ever possibly get them out. By the way, fun fact, same thing with SolarWinds. Like, the only way to know that you have truly eradicated the threat actor from the environment in these instances where they get so deeply penetrated is to replace the hardware, like full burn it to the ground and start from fresh. And that's completely unreasonable. It's too expensive, it's too time consuming, it's too disruptive to business operations. And remember, we're not talking about the federal government, even that would be wicked difficult. We're talking about private sector businesses.
Straight cash, homie.
Verizon, AT&T, they're publicly traded companies. Can you imagine for a second them going to their shareholders and being like, listen, we're going to take a huge L this quarter and probably next quarter and probably the quarter after because we're going to burn all of our profit and into our margins. We're going to take a huge loss because we're going to replace all of our infrastructure because there's a possibility that we've been compromised. We can't prove it. We've done everything we can, but we can't prove a negative. So this is where we're at. Okay, having said all that and how absurd it is, the United States is advising people to use messaging apps. Now, here's the deal. If you are a high net worth individual, if you are a business executive or whatever, then sure, you can try to use what I would recommend is Signal in order to encrypt end-to-end your communications and have some level of confidence that you are, in fact, having secure communications. If you're using things like WhatsApp or Teams or Slack or whatever, first of all, you can't guarantee that it's end-to-end encrypted. With things like Teams and Slack and stuff, there's a central server, right? It's a client-server base. So your data is somewhere and it can be intercepted in transit. Now, obviously, data can be encrypted in transit before it goes, but there's all sorts of techniques and hacks and stuff like that. So a more secure app. This is where I find it ridiculous. Like, as a practitioner, if you want, you can advise your business about this guidance and help them roll this out. Okay, now, let's pause. And I'm going, like, a little tinfoil hat, please.
Spicy!
A little, alternative spicy here. Listen, really quickly. And please comment in chat if you have thoughts on this. I would love to hear everyone's thoughts on this particular one. Okay, first of all, I find it incredibly hyperbolic. I mean, Jesus, not hyperbolic, hypocritical that the United States FBI and CISA are advising people to use end-to-end encryption. Forever, it's been, oh my gosh, end-to-end encryption, that's what the criminals use. They're going to get hide your wife, hide your children. Like, they're coming for you with their encrypted comms. We need a backdoor into Apple's iPhones. Like, dude, the end-to-end encryption has been the bane of law enforcement since it became a thing. And now they're urging people because basically the threat is greater than the benefit to them. Like, again, I get it. And to me, it's actually, that's probably the most alarming thing to me about this story. It's the meta of the story that the federal government is seeing that given the two options between having law enforcement get all up in your business and having Americans' communications not get disrupted, they choose the latter. That to me is incredibly telling. Second of all, okay, this guidance, while I appreciate it and I love the, federal government providing guidance and oversight and, kind of a big brother, like, I guess that is. So when I say big brother, I mean like a protective big brother trying to give you that guidance, not big brother like, Ministry of Truth type stuff. But guys, are you friggin' kidding me? Like, can you imagine for I can't get some of my tech friends to get on Signal, okay? I certainly can't get my family to get on Signal. They want to use WhatsApp. Like, you're going to go to a business that has all sorts of staff across different generations, okay? And this isn't an ageist thing. This is just a real thing. You're going to go to a company. Let's just be real and say a 500-person company, okay? Just to make it appear manageable. You're going to go to a 500-person company and say, hey, listen, everybody, stop using the phone. We're gonna signal each other. The rollout of that is insane. The adoption is probably going to be limited. You're going to have all sorts of people essentially going around your policies because you can't stop them from making a phone call. Plus, That's just internal to the business. Now you're going to tell third parties and vendors and customers that they need to reach you on Signal. So I'm going to need, hey, I know you really want to purchase this $30,000 X-ray machine, but what I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to download this app that you have no idea about. Then I'm going to need you to put in your information, then connect with me on that app, and then we'll transmit that way. Like the adoption and the success of rollout on this is insanely low. So, like, this pisses me off. I'm sorry, okay? It bothers me because this right here is, you see this in big businesses all the time. The federal government's a huge business. This is guidance that has no context of what the workforce has to do, or the engineers, the people in the trenches. This is like a broad sweeping hand stroke of, oh, like, I'll give you a very simple example. Let's go into the European market. What are you talking about? Like, doing that is not trivial. You don't just turn on the European market switch. Oh, we should upgrade. Like, I play golf with the guy from Palo Alto. Let's switch our infrastructure from Gigamon to Palo Alto. He's going to give us a great deal. Plus, he bought me beers. It's like, you are so out of touch with what it takes to do these things. And I just feel like that's the case here. Like, this is fine guidance, but like, dude, no one's going to do this. This is like, oh, yeah, like a good finger wag. And exactly, DJ BSEC behind the glass is saying it's hard to get people to add the Authenticator app to their personal phone. You're going to get them to do, like, completely switch how they do comms? No. And by the way, speaking of that, people always think that there's, like, Microsoft Windows Authenticator app is like a Trojan that you're trying to install so you can spy on them and get their text messages. Like, bro, you're killing me, Smalls, okay? So anyways, like, fine story, federal government. It looks like this is the dumpster on fire going down the river, but like, this is not feasible. This is not a feasible option. This is like one of those things that GRC, listen, this is a true story, okay? And if you're into GRC Mafia, this is a perfect example of what not to do. If you work in GRC, come on, switch up. If you work in GRC, okay, usually junior people do this, or people who don't have a firm grasp of IT and technical understanding that get into GRC. And listen, I know you can get into GRC and not be very technical, but listen, don't make this mistake. A lot of times you'll do a risk assessment, right? And then you're going to want to offer up some suggestions. Hey, we saw that you didn't do this, or that you have this missing, or there's a gap over here. Here are my suggestions. Do this. Oh, it looks like you have this aging infrastructure. My suggestion is you replace everything. Like, or you use CIS hardening guidelines on all of your Windows servers. Like, when you make a suggestion or guidance in your final report as a GRC person that is completely unhinged from the way that reality works in business and IT people, you will lose all political capital, you will lose all credibility, and it will be devastating for your success, not like big mainstream, but like in that engagement and in that particular way of moving forward that agenda. All right, that's enough time on this one.
Spicy!
Come on, let's go. What are we doing here? Come on. Oh my God, dude.
iVerify scanner finds 7 Pegasus spyware infections. A report published by the mobile device security firm iVerify puts into question the idea that commercial spyware is used to target a small number of people. It says that out of 2,500 devices offered by customers to be inspected, 7 devices contained the Pegasus malware manufactured by the NSO Group. Rocky Cole, chief operating officer of iVerify and a former U.S. National Security Agency analyst, stated that, quote, the owners of these targeted devices were not journalists and activists, but business leaders, people running commercial enterprises, people in government positions, end quote. Wired magazine, which ran the story, points out that although 7 out of 2,500 is a small percentage, quote, the fact that the tool has already found a handful of infections at all speaks to how widely the use of spyware has proliferated around the world, end quote.
All right. This is really cool. All right. We talk about Pegasus and NSO Group, and they've been like, I don't know, fined or chastised or whatever. And this is like the Cadillac Rolls Royce of spyware. no click, no interaction. Basically, if you've never heard of Pegasus spyware, welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Here's the deal. Basically, NSO Group has developed a piece of technology that they can just send any phone number, any iPhone number, a text message, and without any interaction by the victim, they pwn your phone. They've got root, they can read your messages, they can do all sorts of stuff, okay? All right, so Mara Levy says, Kyle asked what we should be telling users about this instead. I also want to know. About the FBI one. I mean, all you can, I mean, listen, here, really quick, because I do like to give you guys actionable intel. So, and there's only 6 stories today, so we've got extra time. Listen, what I would tell people is, hey, listen, I would send an email out. I'd send 2 emails out, okay? One to the workforce and then one to the executives. And I would just, to the workforce, I'd say, hey, listen, there's a lot of supporting evidence to suggest that foreign threat actors, I wouldn't say China, okay? I wouldn't say China, just because I feel like China's like a very politically hot thing right now. And if you were to say it, you might distract from like what your actual point is from the end user. So just say, hey, the United States federal government is advising. The United States federal government has been talking for weeks and now of a foreign threat actor inside the telecommunications, like AT&T, Verizon. Use those specific ones because people might not think what telecommunications is, but they know AT&T, Verizon. Inside AT&T and Verizon, and they're potentially eavesdropping and committing espionage. So if you have sensitive, conversations or anything, you may want to consider investigating apps that will allow you to call and text in a such as Signal, and then put a link to Signal, right? So they can download it. To the business executives, I would be much more explicit. I would say, hey, the federal government U.S. federal government is advising that China, I would say China to them, that China is heavily, what's the word I'm looking for? Has heavily infested U.S. telecommunications services, and it's very unlikely that they'll be able to remove them with any level of certainty. If you have, important communications, sensitive communications, confidential communications around business operations, you really should consider using secure encryption solutions such as Signal in order to execute those comms. If you have any questions, I'm available to help you get on board with the solution. Like basically to the executives, offer the ability to help them out or offer to meet with them to explain it. That's a great opportunity for you to like basically get with the executives and look great, but also to like help them make sure that they get on with what they want to get on with. I would not talk about PKI and sign certs and encrypted email comms and stuff like that. That like rolling that out and managing that with any level of success is difficult. All right, but I would use Signal. Signal's for the win. Okay, so anyways, this basically NSO Group is the Cadillac of spyware. For a while, you would think it's like $500,000 per infection. So with prices like that, you would think that the number of infected devices and people would be low. This company has released a scanner. I don't know if the scanner is publicly available or if anyone can use it or whatever. It says it's accessible to anyone. That doesn't say free to anyone. It just says accessible to anyone. That means anyone could buy it technically. I don't research or prep the stories in advance, so I don't know if this is a paid solution or not. It'd be fun to get it and run it on your own device just to see what that looks like. Also would be an interesting piece of content to make, spoiler, for content creation, for personal branding. Oh, like, hey, check it out. We're going to run this thing. They said they found 2,500 instances of infection, which sounds like a lot. We're talking investigative journalists, political groups. The people, think about who has the money to execute that. What's 2,500 times half a million? So that would be 1,250 times a million. So 1,250 million, 1.2 billion, right? So Jesus Christ, NSO Group's getting paid, right? So $1.2 billion they've made off infections, at least based on the intel that we can see here. I'm sure they offer group rates, like buy 3 infections, get 1 free or something. So the math isn't exactly accurate, but who has this money? People who are wicked powerful, like oligarchs, tech giants, and countries, right? So that's it, right? The people who are in power have the money, and they will exercise it to ensure that they stay in power, frankly. Oh, you're investigative journalist exposing the war crimes in Crimea. You're exposing the genocide in the Uyghur population in northwest China. You're covering riots in Seattle, whatever. Like, we got you, and I'll be equal opportunity. My point is, you can use these tools to find out who the person of interest is communicating with, so you can round up their entire group of interest people. You can use it to get blackmail and extortion level evidence to use against them, to weaponize them, a million different things. Nice job, iVerify, for making this tool. We salute you.
Japan warns of I/O data zero-day router flaws exploited in attacks. Japan's Computer Emergency Response Team, aka CERT, CERT, is warning of zero-day vulnerabilities in the I/O data router devices. These can be exploited to modify device settings, execute commands, or even turn off the firewall. Quote, the vendor has acknowledged the flaws in a security bulletin published on its website, end quote, but the fixes are only expected to land on December 18th, which means users will be exposed to risks until then, unless mitigations are enabled. The 3 flaws, which were identified on November 13th and which all have CVE numbers, relate to information disclosure, remote arbitrary OS command execution, and the ability to disable firewalls.
All right, so this is a Hot Mess Express. Do we have what's a good dumpster fire one? Well, I don't really have a dumpster fire sound effect on this one. Okay, so check, undocumented features. Okay, so there's a bunch here, right? If you are running the TLD, there's a bunch I want to call out here. If you are running an I/O data router device in your environment, I've never heard of this brand. It looks like it's the UDLT1 and UDLT1/EX version. You should absolutely patch it.
You gotta patch it.
Period, full stop, okay? If you're running these devices, and if you don't know if you're running these devices, flip it over to your networking team or your security technology infrastructure team, or you should know if you're hashtag team solo, you should know if you're running this device. Now, it does look like there's an industrial component to it, so they might be running it inside like the manufacturing or one of the facilities or something, or at a remote location as basically the locations firewall to the internet. But if you're doing like SD-WAN networks and stuff like that, it might route back to the home office anyways. But anyways, you want to find out if you have these things and then patch them. There's 2 things I want to call out to this story that would be a little bit more, to me, a little bit more interesting from a practitioner perspective, and something you're not going to get from the story itself. Number 1, I kind of want to shake like a stern finger, like Mkembe Natumbo, like, no. What is the vendor doing? Like, what is the vendor doing? Like, listen, the whole reason we have responsible disclosure in our industry is because you're supposed to, when you do it correctly, you notify the vendor through a secure communications channel, not public, okay? You tell them about the flaw, you prove that it's there, they fix it, they release a patch, and then everybody gets to get publicly notified. This right here is an incredibly uncommon incident, and it's a hot mess. So the vendor has released a security bulletin that their device is grossly vulnerable to 3 exploits, and 3 vulnerabilities can be exploited that can lead to like full compromise, and you need to be aware of it because the patch comes out in 2 weeks. Why did you notify? Like, basically, the way I read this story says IO data vendor gives threat actors 2 weeks to get their crap together before it's patched.
You gotta patch it.
Right? Now, I don't know, maybe someone else released it, and I will tell you in full disclosure, occasionally, a 0-day will get released either because the threat actor is exploiting it, because some security researcher likes to watch the world burn and doesn't give a flying F. there are reasons that it happens, but when the vendor controls the release of the vulnerabilities, like it looks like in this story, they can control it. There was no reason they couldn't have released it on the 18th when the patches rolled out. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a little bit more behind this story about why they do that, but don't do that. The other thing I want to point out, okay, this one is really worth noting. Of the 3 vulnerabilities, right? Listen, this one, if permissions are misconfigured, okay?
Carl!
That's a straight up Carl move. No big deal, okay? This one allows authenticated admins to inject and execute OS commands. This one's really bad. And this is a system flaw. It sounds like they're not doing some type of check on who's executing a command before executing it, right? Like essentially, like it's an admin thing, but there isn't a check on the function before it executes the function. Okay, that's a true technical vulnerability in the way that the software was coded. Let's get it fixed, right?
You gotta patch it.
This one right here is the one I want to call your attention to. Undocumented features in the firmware allow remote attackers to turn off device firewall. Brah. Why do you have undocumented features and backdoors in your friggin' solution? Like, to me, this smacks of one of 2 things. And let us know in chat or mods, let me know. Dude, undocumented features in an firewall? Do you know what that sounds like? That sounds like baked in persistence mechanisms. Like, yes, sometimes developers put in features and functions and then forget to remove them because they're doing a lot of things. Come on, it friggin' is a backdoor that is not in the code that allows remote attackers to get in. This, I remember, listen, this makes me remember, like, way back in, like, I don't know, 2017 or something like that, besides Charleston at the time, I reversed a Zixel firmware, a Zixel NAS firmware, and I found a undocumented admin account called NSA Angel. Now, you may want to think that maybe NSA, it should have been NAS because it is a NAS and it was a typo, but it was a friggin' undocumented root account called NSA Angel. Again, I didn't want to go anywhere near that. That felt radioactive to me. I presented it and just moved on. But like this, what are we doing? And be aware that just because you read the instruction manual or the knowledge base articles on what features and functions there could be other ones. The only way to truly find all the features and functions is to reverse the binary and look at the code and basically map it all, which takes an ass load of time. Sorry, Kennedy and Hannah, Micah and Maverick. It takes a lot of time to do that, and you have to have the skills to do it. How good are you at reading assembly? Because that's what's going to have to happen. So this, to me, is kind of a dumpster fire. There's multiple things that suck about this one. Undocumented backdoor sounds sussy sus, right? Get your Among Us on. And then 2, why is this vendor releasing 2 weeks prior to patches? So good luck. If you're running this environment, if you're running this firewall in your environment, I would strongly encourage you try to find some type of workaround or increase logging and visibility on those devices to make sure that they're not getting compromised and then lateral movement in your environment. Pretty gross stuff, though.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, Vanta. As third-party breaches continue to rise, companies are increasingly vigilant, which means more time spent on manual security reviews. With Vanta questionnaire automation, security and compliance teams can complete security reviews up to 5 times faster, giving you time back to focus on running your security and compliance programs. Over 8,000 global companies like ZoomInfo, Smart Recruiters, and Noibu use Vanta to save time on security reviews. Visit Vanta.com to learn more about questionnaire automation. That is Vanta.com.
All right, welcome to the mid-roll. You guys, we got a special one for you today. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Party Pals. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a great stream. Stories are a little spicy. I'm feeling a little good. I've done the work here in Atlanta that I needed to do, so I'm just doing the show and then going to the airport. So I'm feeling myself today, folks. if you're getting value from the stream, first of all, I'm super happy that you're getting value from the stream. That's like imperative to me. It's the reason that I do what I'm doing, is because I want to give. It's an absolute privilege to serve. If you are getting value, though, help me help the larger community by hitting the like button on YouTube. It goes a long way to basically triggering the algorithm and helping other people discover Simply Cyber and what we do here every single morning. Shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Delete Me, and Antisyphon Training, Zach Hill, Courtney, Micah, and Maverick in the car. About to listen to an ad for Zach's company. Let's go. High-quality cybersecurity education, regardless of financial position. Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing, as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other, all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. All right, thank you, Antisyphon Training, and Zach, you beautiful baby. Looking good on this fine Thursday morning. All right, guys, check it out. Every single day of the week, we have a special activity at the mid-roll, except Wednesdays, but you get my point. And Thursdays is What's Your Meme Thursday. Dan Reardon, a.k.a. Haircut Fish in chat, makes a custom meme for us. He's done it for years, and he has outdone himself today. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present you with today's meme of the week. Are you familiar with the Office and the meme where Pam has to pick find the difference between the two pictures? That's basically the meme we got going today. You tell me, chat. Find the difference between these two pictures. Corporate needs you to find the differences. You know what's interesting, though? They're the same picture. They're the same picture. And for those who aren't aware, that is J Gold, J Mod, J Crypto. He goes by many names, very much a mod in the community. Justin Gold, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, you tell me. You tell me. I leave it to you to tell me. What is going on here? What is going on? My man. J Gold, it just went down under the water. Yeah, exactly. And with that, Jay Gold's out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, love it. Thank you so much, Dan. This might be my favorite to date. There he is in chat. R.I.P. Let's get our la 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 la's on. Alpha Sierra. Let's go. All right. Oh, what a great day. I hope everybody's having a great day. Let's finish the news strong here.
UK law enforcement uncovers major Russian ransomware-related money laundering operation. On Wednesday, British law enforcement announced the discovery of a large Russian money laundering system, quote, used by transnational drug traffickers, cybercriminals, Moscow elites evading sanctions, and even the Kremlin's espionage operations, end quote. The discovery follows an investigation into how a ransomware gang was cashing out extorted cryptocurrency. More than 80 people have been arrested thus far in this operation, which is named Operation Destabilize, and which has, quote, exposed billion-dollar money laundering networks operating in a way previously unknown to international law enforcement. The head of this particular snake belongs to two Russian businesses, one called Smart and the other TGR Group, both based in Moscow's Federation Tower. They are accused of providing critical liquidity and logistics services, allowing criminals to collect funds in one country and make the equivalent value available in another.
All right, there we go. Let's see. Look at this guy. Elena Churkinya. I don't know who these people are, but looks like these individuals are running the shop here. Okay, so, I mean, this... All right, so this is cyber related, I guess, because there's a ransomware gang element to it. Listen, money laundering's a thing, right? You steal a bunch of money and you need to get it out so you can use it to convert it into fiat to be able to buy weapons, pay off politicians, like whatever it is, buy a Big Mac, like whatever you need money for, you got to get it cleaned, right? So how do you do that? Ransomware gangs notoriously are stealing money that can be essentially traced using chain analysis type tooling. So how do you do it? Well, it looks like these, basically large Russian-based companies, oligarchs-ish, were providing liquidity and logistics, which, by the way, makes it look legitimate, right? Oh, here's a legitimate huge business that's doing all these transactions. Oh, they must have just been victimized, whatever, we'll hide. Dude, it's a big, filthy, dirty, criminal network. Guys, here's the deal, right? I'll give you a hint.
Straight cash, homie.
Right? Wu-Tang had it right in the 90s. Cash rules everything around me, right? The fact that it's Russian, whatever. Like, this could have been German or Nigerian or Silicon Valley. It doesn't matter. It's just some really wealthy people got in on criminal enterprises to help other criminals launder their money. It says Kremlin spies. Why not? I'm sure Russia's getting a taste of it too, because, dude, when there's money to be made, people want some money. I'm not going to spend any more time on this story. It is what it is. Although, shout out to law enforcement. I do love how law enforcement's absolutely been kicking mud holes in threat actors' butts.
Regulators! Mount up!
Lots of security risks in open source ecosystem. A new report from the Linux Foundation, OpenSSF, and Harvard University has found that, quote, significant security risks continue to be prevalent in open source software practices, end quote.
Yeah.
The Census 3 project made more than, quote, 12 million observations of free and open source software libraries used in production apps at over 10,000 companies, end quote. The issues included ongoing reliance on Python 2 language, a lack of standardized naming for software components, the fact that security is dependent on a handful of accounts, and that individual developer accounts tend to have fewer protections associated with them than organizational accounts.
Bro.
Back.
Like, in other news, today's a day that ends in Y. Whatever. I appreciate this. I guess, we got to keep beating the drum. But, hey, Matt Willett, yeah, on the mobile studio, the spicy sound effect is what it is right now. Okay, so here's a couple things for everybody. One, this story just continues to bring light and bring visibility to a known wicked big problem, and that is open source software is notoriously vulnerable, right? Regular software's going to be vulnerable, but here's the deal. Me, Kimberly, can fix it in Alpha Sierra, could create a GitHub and start cracking code out and do whatever. And then, it does, I don't know, something. It scrapes a web page or it reports on Elon Musk's flight paths of his plane, whatever, right? And then someone picks it up and they start using it. But then, I get busy and Alpha Sierra gets busy and Kimberly can fix it, gets busy. So we kind of abandon it, but we kind of don't. I don't have this is obviously a fake story. I don't have multi-factor authentication on. Alpha Sierra has a terrible password. Kimberly shares her GitHub account with her husband. But there's no standards. There's no accountability. There's no information security program. There's no auditing. There's no nothing, right? And not that there shouldn't be, but why would you need to, right? It's just you're cracking code. Well, when businesses turn around and leverage that code in order to make product, which they then make money off of.
Straight cash, homie.
And they throw a hissy fit when things are bad, right? That's what you should expect. And this story basically outlines that is a wicked big problem. If you're looking for an absolute perfect case study in this, go look at Log4j and how Log4j, really, really bad vulnerability that was uber easy to exploit. I don't really think the impact was wicked bad. Honestly, I didn't really see any oh my God impacts, but the likelihood was really, really high because it was so trivial to exploit. But it came from an open source library that had been bundled and packaged into a middleware that had been bundled and packaged into a a front-end app, which had been bundled and packaged into a suite of apps, right? It was so far away from the main code base that it was basically in the dark. Like every level you go deeper, it gets more shadowy. Log4j was like literally in the other room with no lights on. So this right here shouldn't come as any surprise. If you are going to be using open source software, maybe you can do some type of, I don't know, like code analysis or some type of testing. Also worth noting, you might be using tools in your environment that you've purchased. Like say you've bought, I don't know, like Splunk, right? Whatever. You've bought Splunk or Security Onion. Like let's use one that I don't get sued, right? You use Security Onion. And then you don't know that Security Onion is using some third-party open source GitHub repo down the stream. So even if you did a software bill of materials, which is like the holy grail of things in our industry, basically a software bill of materials would essentially be like the nutrition facts on the side of a package of food, showing you what the ingredients are. This would tell you what binaries and libraries and apps and stuff are inside the software. Even if you had that, you can't have high confidence because it could be downstream problematic, right? So the final thing I'll say on this one is shout out to Tyler Ramsby. Tyler Ramsby regularly talks about how unbelievably easy it is to find CVEs and then put them on your resume and look like an absolute baller. This story just said this one group found like 12 million they didn't say CVEs, but they said they found like 12 million like sus looking pieces of software, tons of accounts that are run by like individual developers. So there's a lot of money being spent by Amazon, Google, and Microsoft in order to harden open source software. But what they're really doing is hardening the upper crust, the upper 1% of open source software that is used by enterprises mostly. They're not wholesale improving the overall security of open source software as a I guess not an industry, but as a concept. The other thing I'll point out really quickly is that Microsoft recently required all developers of GitHub to have multi-factor authentication, which, super, super happy about that. Super good shout out for them. Also worth noting, threat actors have been observed. This is just like a bonus tip. Threat actors have been observed adopting abandoned GitHub repos and then putting malware in and leveraging the social trust of the existing repo and the history of it, but then having their own malware in it. So, whatever. There's a lot to do with open source software. There's a great opportunity. You could even specialize in securing open source software and being a GRC person who educates on open source software and best practices and stuff like that.
Stored Solana library downloaded by developers. Solana Web3.js is a popular JavaScript library used to build decentralized applications for Node, Web, and React Native. On Tuesday, 2 malicious versions of the library were discovered as available for download. The backdoored iterations, version 1.95.6 and 1.95.7, quote, contained code that allowed the attackers to steal private key material and drain funds from decentralized applications, end quote. They remained available for about 5 hours through the official repository. Developers who downloaded either of these versions are advised to update to Solana's Web3.js version 1.95.8 and rotate any suspect keys and account credentials.
Yeah, okay. So Jay Crypto, and if you guys don't know who he is, this is him, Jay Crypto. He might be able to comment on this story. Okay, so Solana is basically, as far as I know, it's like a blockchain that is used for crypto. The pump.fun is using the Solana chain. Here's the deal, like as if the story before about open source software wasn't enough, this is a actual realized instantiation of that. Compromised GitHub account, right? So GitHub is a open source software repository that anyone can use. Compromised accounts, so somebody getting their token stolen or whatever, has basically stuck malware inside of a Solana library. The Solana library is being pulled into people's apps and people's code and stuff like that. And it's basically a backdoored version which allows people to, looks like I would imagine, steal people's wallets and people's money. Let's see here. Yeah, it affects projects that handle private keys. Okay, so if you're running PKI, you got public private key, your private key, it's busted. 400,000 weekly downloads, not total projects using this. 400,000 weekly downloads. So this is interesting. Honestly, this right here is, to me, a very elegant, a very nicely encapsulated threat actor story. And this is one, listen, this is one that, like, this is a cool one for you to understand as a student of cybersecurity and understand how this attack looks and why it works and why threat actors would do it, understanding their psyche. But this isn't one that you would bust out in a job interview unless you're going to work at a software company or a fintech company. Like if you're working at a manufacturing company and you're busting out that Solana Web3 JS library has been backdoored, the people interviewing you are going to be like, what does that got to do with anything? Like we're talking about legacy tech here in Windows XP, right? Like, get out of here. So make sure that when you do pull out examples in job interviews that it's germane or relevant to the actual job you're doing. That's why it's nice to pull more generic ones like, I don't know, SolarWinds attack, right? Because like everybody has IT infrastructure. So even if they're not using SolarWinds, they can wrap their head around centralized management of that IT infrastructure. But yeah, this is a good one. If you're running, listen, individually, if you're doing some pump.fun scripts or something like that, or you're hacking code on the side in order to go to the moon with JCrypto, that's fine. Just make sure that you're not running this Web3 JS library, because guess what? If you are, your wallet's going to get ripped off, and then you're going to be sad. Because threat actors,
Straight cash, homie.
Microsoft stands firm on TPM requirements for Windows 11. Microsoft is pushing hard on its upgraded security culture by dashing the hopes some may have about lower hardware requirements for Windows 11. The Windows 10 end of support is approaching in October 2025, and Microsoft says that its Trusted Platform Module TPM 2.0 requirement for Windows 11 is non-negotiable. This PM 2.0 is a hardware-level chip or firmware or decrypt data, confirm digital signatures, and assist with any other cryptographic operations.
nice. So you know what? I'll give them this. Listen, Microsoft is putting a firm position here on supporting security and being all about like we're really like security is important, and we're not going to allow legacy tech and bad practices to persist in our environment. You will get on TPM 2.0 or you will not be using Windows, which, by the way, is absolutely going to force the hand of so many businesses to make the upgrades in order to support this. Not to say not for nothing, but this definitely means that Microsoft
Straight cash, homie.
Microsoft's going to get paid, right? Listen, it's the same thing with COVID and digital transformation, right? If you told businesses in 2020, like January of 2020, you're like, I'm going to need all of you to move your workforce off remotely, and I need all of you to get on Zoom or whatever. They'd be like, no, like, what are you talking? Get out of here. Then, the pandemic hits. Boom. Everybody's like, if you don't have a choice, it's the difference between an administrative control and a technical control. You can require it all day long. You're going to get like some percentage of non-adoption. You make it technically infeasible to use this tech solution unless you do what I say. Well, guess what, my friend? You're going to get 100% compliance, because what are your choices? To stop doing business? That's not really a viable option. So Microsoft, I don't give financial advice on this channel, but believe me, if you've ever heard my story about my huge investment into Fannie Mae, like 24 hours before it went to zero, not to take my financial advice. But this seems like a win for Microsoft, getting basically baking in an absolute guaranteed huge tech acquisition in the next 12 to 24 months. Also, by the way, for business people, if you are running Windows 10, it is getting end of life, so you do need to plan for tech refresh and lifecycle. So make sure that you are talking to your endpoint management team if you are big enough to have an endpoint management team. If you're a bit smaller, you're talking to the IT team. What are we doing about tech refresh, all these Windows operating systems? The TPM 2.0 requirement, let's see what that is. I do want to know if it's... See, the TPM is a hardware thing, so I don't know if there's certain tech, like actual physical tech, like this laptop can't support TPM 2.0. I don't know if that's the case. So you do need to investigate that yourself. It looks like you do. Yeah, here, it actually says it right here. Windows 11 strict hardware requirements encourages people to upgrade to Windows 10. So not only are you going to need Windows 11 in order to comply, but make sure that the tech you're buying can support this. Dude, I've seen so many, like, not to go off on too far of a tangent, but I have seen, it's deplorable, but I have seen salespeople in the healthcare industry. You know, it's like, oh, you can buy this x-ray machine for $1 million, or you can buy the exact same x-ray machine for $250,000. Which one do you want, physician? And the physician's like, I'll take 4. I have $1 million budget. I'll take 4 of the $250,000. Thank you very much. And then they feel like they friggin' beat their chest and they're the winner chicken dinner because they come back to the floor, to the unit, and they're like, I got us 4 x-ray machines. I'm friggin' bod A. I am a baller. And they're like, yeah, but it's running Windows 7. Like, literally, they couldn't sell these things, and you bought 4 of them. Thank you, Dr. Shenanigans.
Why have we conflated vulnerability discovery with vulnerability management?
All right, listen. That's going to do it. We had a bonus story, but I guess I managed to make 6 stories a full meal here. Let's do this really quickly. Where's my music? There we go. All right, guys. Looks like we got to the end of the stream. I do want to tell you really quick, don't go anywhere because we are going to do 30 minutes of jaw-jacking. It's AMA-style information. I've got a hard stop at 9:30 because I literally have to get in an Uber and drive an hour to an airport so I can fly to Charleston so I can get to my house so I can then immediately go into my studio and prepare for today's Simply Cyber Live. We're going to be joined by Serena Gandhi talking about perseverance and success in cyber. She was one of the key featured individuals in the Do We Belong documentary focusing on women in cybersecurity. We're going to be talking to her, bringing light to that documentary, getting her thoughts, interests, and, you know, just having a really nice conversation in general. So please join us later today. I'm super excited about it. Be well, Jenny Housley. Guys, if you have time, it'd be great for you to stay and hang with us. Again, shout out to Justin Gold. If you guys want to screen cap this right here and make it your wallpaper or share it with friends and families, maybe, I don't know, if you haven't done your Christmas cards for the year yet, this would make a great one. So go ahead, take that screenshot. I'll leave it up there just for a second. All right. So, hey, let's move on to jaw-jacking. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you for enduring the mobile studio. And I'll be back with jaw-jacking in 30 seconds. Peace out. Cybersecurity. Join us every weekday for Jaw-Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jaw-Jacking. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. This is Jaw-Jacking. I am your host, Jerry Guy. As always, coming hot off the heels from that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger, Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Do want to say what's up, everybody. Good morning. We got some, I'll answer, excuse me, I'll answer any and all questions, as well as talk about other stories if you want. We've got Advent of Cyber cracking around. We got all these things. DJ BSEC, if you want to come from behind the glass onto the air, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just be fielding questions. Nick Barker loves the mobile studio. Guys, I just want to let you know, as a community, if you do get a chance to meet Nick Barker, it's an absolute must. Okay, the guy's a national treasure. Big fan of some Nick Barker. All right, Sierra Montgomery wishing me a safe trip back. Thank you. What's really nice for me is very rare, but the it's a single flight. It's like a 1 hour no stop flight, or non-stop flight, I guess. Jacob Rippert's doing several advents. That's very cool. Oh, Zero Priest, you like that I have a mobile studio? Here's the thing, Zero Priest. This show's happening every single day, Monday through Friday. Like, rain or shine. I did an episode. I know we have some long-timers here. I did an episode from a garage once. I've done it from many hotel rooms. Yeah. So it's all about good. Okay, so really quickly, let me answer a couple questions. DJ BSEC, if you want to get that story, like an actual news report lined up, we can brief the... Okay. All right, so... Jesus Christ. Let's go ahead and pivot. We are going to be joined by DJ BSEC. He's usually behind the glass, making things smooth and operational. Part of the mod team here that delivers this show to you every single day, but he also is a practitioner and a really nice guy. It always does embarrass me because his studio feed is so much hotter than mine. I don't have a sound effect on the mobile soundboard, so if you do have a squad emote, you can go ahead and drop Will Farrow's "He's So Hot." We're going to bring DJ BSEC on right now. DJ BSEC, come on air. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right.
Woo, this guy. All right.
That
so,
Hansel's so hot right now.
BSEC. What's up?
I said
that Hansel's so hot right now.
Yeah, see what I mean? Immediately comes out the gates and shows me up. He's like, oh, don't worry about that. I've got all the sound effects and all the hotness. So, listen, let's check it out really quick. We have questions in chat that we can answer, but let's brief one more story since there were only 6 stories in CISO series today. This one's a big one coming hot off the presses late last night. Chris Whitlock actually was the first to report it to me, at least, from kind of a sussy site, but we have more information now. DJ BSEC, do you want to either share your screen or give me the link and I'll pull it up?
I'm sharing the screen right now. There we go.
Yes. What are we looking at, DJ?
So, like you said last night, Chris Whitlock put this in, and it was kind of like, did this really happen? Is this out there? I've seen more people put this out, basically saying that Deloitte was hacked by Brain Cipher. Basically, a terabyte of data has been stolen. If you read through it, nobody has confirmed this yet. This has just kind of been put up. It is on cybersecuritynews.com, so I'm going to give it a little bit of relevance here. But reading through, it talks about Brain Cipher, and this is something that I was talking about last night that dealt with Advent of Cyber. When we were going through last night's room, one of the things was how are you defining rules like Yara rules or Sigma rules? How do you define that? And
I did that.
Yeah, I saw. And what I did is I was explaining that if you find a spot or if you find an artifact that is always the same, you can run a rule off of that specific one. So if you dig into Brain Cipher's ransomware, which is actually Lockbit 3.0, let me scroll down here. They talk about the significance of the artifacts that are in here, and they come in and talk about specific pieces of artifact that are in here, like braincipher.exe, or there was one in here. Let me see if I can find it. That it's going specifically to the host name MailSoft. So we've got this here. I don't know if y'all can see that. No, you can't. I'm not sharing the screen that way. What I was describing last night was if those specific files are in there, then you can search for those. And I had questions about that because they were saying, hey, is it this specific file? And it was the file that was on the Advent of Cyber. What I was trying to explain was it's not that specific file on the Advent of Cyber. What it is if there is a specific file that is part of an attack, you can now search for that. You can put that in your Sigma rules, your YAR rules, or whatever it is for your alerts. So this kind of, after reading through this, I was like, man, this ties into exactly what I was talking about last night, going in and using the rules to try and actually find or alert yourself on different things. Yeah, here it is. This was where it was, right down here at the bottom where it's got, or put it right in the middle, where it says C program data 9EA9.tmp. It says that it automatically creates and executes that specific file. So if you know that specific file is in there, then maybe it's Brain Cipher or Lockbit 3.0 type of thing.
Thanks. And DJ BSEC, can you drop a link to this story in chat so people can pull this up and actually see the IOCs themselves? Also, I'll be manually muting and unmuting myself because apparently the mobile studio still, I didn't fix the echo issue with routing your audio through my soundboard. So FYI, for those in chat, thank you, CJ, for letting me know. All right.
I would
So,
expect nonetheless.
Classic. It's a classic. All right. And if you haven't been doing AOC, DJ BSEC has been streaming every single day at 8 p.m. Eastern time, DJ BSEC?
Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right, so 8 p.m. Eastern. You can do ! AOC right now in chat and get links to DJ BSEC streams. Also, another mod in the community, Casually Joseph, he works with Snowden there. He is also streaming at, I think, 4 p.m. Eastern time or 5 p.m. Eastern time. Let us know in chat, Casually Joseph, so you can go check him out. If you're looking, here's the thing. Advent of Cyber is really fun to do on your own, but you can do it with others as a community. It's very much designed to be done that way. And you can watch the videos that are posted for every day and get those challenges. And then if you really want to take it to the next level, they actually have side quests that they ask people not to stream or post the answers to in order to keep the integrity of the overall contest. Shall we answer some questions, DJ BSEC, or do you want to talk about your AOC stream?
No, let's go for it. Let's answer questions.
All right, so first question's coming in from Haircut Fish. Jerry, have you started any of the challenges? Have your kids worked through them yet? So, no, I haven't. I actually I worked through day one, or, like whatever. And obviously I'm for those who don't know, I'm a content creator that made day 9 and day 10. So I'm like, you will see me in Advent of Cyber if you haven't, if you're doing Advent of Cyber, you know that there's the videos at the top of each day. I did day 9 and day 10, so you'll be doing that. I guess Tyler Ramsby is doing today's. Tyler Ramsby's like a Terminator. Like, he low-key may have like come from the future, kneeling down naked in a little, sphere, and then just started walking around South Dakota, because he's just doing mad amounts of AOC rooms. I haven't done it. My kids, my kids are... my kids are end users, right? They're like, yeah, cool, shiny ball, let's go. And then they're like, oh, there's Pokemon cards over here. Let's go look at that instead. So love my kids. I've been on travel, so I've been in Atlanta. I definitely talked to Mrs. Auger about this before I agreed to this particular client engagement, because it is during the holidays and it's very impactful. But my kids are kind of, not being drummed up for AOC right now. So thanks for asking, Dan. But I will tell you, if you do have kids and you're looking to get them interested, they do have $100,000 in prizes, and a lot of them are like cool tech stuff. There's an arcade machine and stuff. So you could get your kids involved with it quite easily, and the story's a lot of fun too. DJ BSEC, are you doing any of this with your kids or anything?
Not with the kids. I'd love to get them involved with it, but just like yours, I want to do that. And then, hey, there's something on TV, so I'm going to go watch that instead.
Yeah, it just doesn't work with my schedule, Dad. Like, back up. Dreaded Hoser says, how would you deal with being told as a member of the information security team that you can no longer confer with the infrastructure team, and if you do, the CTO needs to be informed? What the Hold on 1 second.
Who said that?
Yeah, who's
where does
making
that
this
come
edict?
from?
This is some dumb, silly stuff. Listen, the IT team and the InfoSec team. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let's go ahead and do it again. And hold on. Let me give you full screen because we can get the full Carl experience.
Oh.
That's 100% Carl. Listen, here's what I like. First of all, let me explain to you why this is a bad idea, and then I'll give you my thoughts on how to handle this. First of all, the IT team is responsible for IT, obviously. The InfoSec team is for ensuring that the IT is secure. Also, data is secured, and apps are secured, and things going out and coming into the environment are secured, and access and physical security, okay? So it goes beyond IT, but we in InfoSec don't patch things. We don't create user accounts and disable things. Like, we advise on that. So that advising needs to come from us and go to the IT team. We talk about it in the Daily Cyber Threat Brief all the time. Send this to your IT team. So if you're been told that you can't confer with the infrastructure team That is some dumb stuff. What I would say is, in this instance, what I would do, dreaded hoser, again, we're going to take two different paths, DJ BSEC and I, on this one. I would be fine. Okay, CTO, no big deal. Here's what I would do. I would basically digest what you need the IT team to do. So instead of sending one-off messages and stuff like that, I would maybe once a day outline, kind of a bullet list of like, here are the things that are going on. Here's what I need the IT team to do. Have a very well prescribed format. Like, here's the situation, here's the action items for IT, here is follow-up items, and send it once a day and CC the CTO. You're informing the CTO and you're doing what you need to do, and then, I mean, I know it's a tough environment right now out in the job market, but if this is marching towards somewhere you may not want to be. DJ BSEC, thoughts?
I agree with that, and I would say, just like you said, send an email that has everybody on it. Make sure the communication is there, because they can't fault you for communicating something out.
Yeah, I did what you asked. Reality, I've seen this before, of this micromanagement bullcrap, and what ends up happening after a while is they say, stop, just stop sending it to me. Or they'll create a rule and it fires it off, and then you have top cover that you've been doing what they said. That's so ridiculous, dude. Don't confer with the IT team. All right, Toasty Pop says, how difficult it would be to set up an Elk server in your home lab? Is this a free version? Elk actually is free. I
think there's a full stack of that. Like, you can just run it and it runs everything.
Yeah, what, Security Onion?
Yeah, there you go. Run Security Onion. That's the whole thing.
You can definitely do it, Toasty Pops, in your environment, and it's.
I know some people have issues getting Security Onion actually up and running, but I'm sure there's videos out there that will walk you through and getting that thing up. But yeah.
Yeah, there are definitely. Eric Capuano might actually have one, but I can tell you, Graylog, there's a great, I've been wanting to do this lab video for a while, but Graylog actually has like a blog post on how to set up Graylog in their environment and get that sorted out. So great question, Toasty Pops.
Graylog is pretty powerful too.
Congratulations on locking up the bye for the first round, you Kansas City Chief. All right, here we go. Debon Grady. Sometimes I sound like I am Ron Burgundy. I'm currently studying for the Hack the Box CPTS exam. What's your favorite practical exam study strategy? DJ BSEC, you just went through the ringer with CISSP, so since it's still fresh, why don't you share your favorite practical exam study strategy?
So for me, what I did is, number one, I had 20 years plus experience for a test, but I also went through and there you go. That was
That Hansel's so hot right now.
When we to study for it, I just went out and found practical examination questions and went over those over and over and over. So you get the feel and understanding of how the test is going to be. What are they going to ask? How are they going to ask it? Those type of things. So you don't necessarily walk into it completely blank and then think, okay, I can answer all these questions. You go into that same mindset. And in fact, the day of the test, I know a lot of people will say 24 hours before a test, don't look at anything, let your mind be at ease, clear everything out and go in with an open mind, basically. But that morning before I took the test, I went through and started looking at the questions again. So I was in that mindset when I got there, as opposed to getting into the test and then being 10 to 15 minutes into the test before you kind of get into that mindset of, this is a test, these are the type of questions I'm going to get asked.
Yep, that's great advice. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to add any more to that. That's perfect. Hey, really quickly, if you're just joining us, this is Jaw Jacking. I just want to remind everybody, today, if you missed the meme of the week, I just want to make sure that everybody sees it. This is, in fact, the meme of the week. It was, corporate needs you to find the difference between these pictures, but, they're the same picture. Just want to let everybody know about that. There we go. All right.
That is going to end up being Jerry's background.
It will be, yes. In fact, I'm going to somehow convert that image into a sound effect and make it my ringtone.
We could make a sound effect on stream.
We could. It would be something. So let's see. Hopefully everybody's feeling good for the holidays. I've been really enjoying what's going on as far as like the vibes, and AOC is always a fun time of year. I released that full final version of the Try Hack Me Advent of Cyber Geico commercial. I hope people enjoyed that. The Sophisticated Hacker, it was called. I don't know if you saw it, Nick Barker, but that was fun. In fact, is there a way? Can I share that and actually have it be the audio?
The image or the video?
Yeah. Share. Can we do that? I want to share it for people. Hold on. Is it because there's actually a short version of it too that I released yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the short.
I don't know. Let's see if they can hear it. Hold on. Ready? There we go. Sharing this tab. I don't know if you'll be able to hear the audio.
It should be because you've got your.
Huh.
Yep.
Did you know that Try Hack Me's Advent of Cyber has 24 days of cyber challenges and over $100,000 in prize pools? Well, everybody knows that. Well, did you know that not all hackers wear hoodies?
One interpreter reverse shell.
The fine dining hacker, surprisingly sophisticated and entirely refined. Try Hack Me's Advent of Cyber. Fun challenges, cool prizes, tuxedos, optional.
All right, there we go. A little bit of fun. We're always trying to have some fun here on the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed that. My kids didn't do Advent of Cyber, but the kids absolutely loved making that video. I'll tell you what.
Not a lot of questions this morning. Everybody's asleep.
Yeah, this time
Either
of year,
that,
bro.
Jerry, or we've actually done it, and we have answered all cybersecurity questions that have ever existed.
We did it. We eclipsed. We made it to the moon. That's so funny. Yeah, Nick Barker loves it. I thought Nick Barker would enjoy that. That's so funny. Yeah, so I don't know. You got like let's take it to a different place. What you got any holiday traditions? I'll share one with everybody first, and then DJ B second. If you got holiday traditions, drop them in chat. It's always nice to see what people's traditions are. There's actually a really nice county park near us that does. They basically decorate the living crap out of the park, and you can drive through the park. And it's called the James Island County Lights, and it's definitely like an indicator that it's the season. You drive through, you turn on the Christmas tunes, and you do that. I'm actually looking forward to that a whole ton. I'm hoping to do it next Monday. But what kind of traditions you got, DJ BSEC?
Oh, Nick Parker put something in there. So holiday traditions, for the most part, we do stuff with the. I've got both families, so we'll go to my wife's family. We usually do like a fish fry for New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. On Christmas Day, we hang out with my family. But the Christmas Eve fish fry is like massive. Like all her family comes down. We go to the fresh fish market that morning, get all the fish, and then fry it up. So
there you go, fish fry dinner. I like it. Looks like we actually didn't make it to the end. Hold on, I'm Justin Gold. I am muting every time he speaks. Okay, here we go. So really quick, Nick Barker says, was the Gibson a real computer? The Gibson, the famous computer from the movie Hackers in 1995. Was it a real computer? I thought it was a mock of the Cray supercomputer, but I've never heard of the Gibson. I thought it was basically a take on the Cray.
Hey. Just like everything on the internet, Gibson was real.
Wow. Okay, there you go. So you heard it here from DJ BSEC. Okay, what's the process of handling a breach or compromise? What would the lead or CISO do with their team from isolation, remediation, and which agencies to report to? I mean, great question, Burnaby. It really depends on the severity of the breach, right? So, I mean, if you I don't want to speak out of school here, but I mean, you can have a small breach. You can have, a couple assets that get compromised. You could have ransomware that detonates poorly. if it's kind of an isolated thing, you just kind of quarantine the box, re-image it, and send them on their way and keep going. It could be crypto jacking. Now, obviously, if it's a big one like Clop ransomware stealing all your data, or Deloitte with a terabyte of data, in that instance, the lead would typically be usually, honestly, a third-party incident response firm that comes in and takes the lead. The insurance company is going to dictate who that is. The CISO would be involved. The CISO would essentially be running point at that point, and they would be the main interface between the executive team, third parties, and the InfoSec team. Not really doing technical hands-on stuff. They're doing here's what's going on, and also making big decisions. Like a CISO decision is, do we pull the internet? Like that's a CISO decision that they got to run with. As far as isolation remediation, again, it depends on the size. Isolation can be done by a level 1 analyst if they need to, if it's just an end user computer. If it's a major critical application server, then you might want to escalate, obviously. Agencies to report to, it depends what industry you're in. You might have to report to SEC if you're publicly traded. You might have to report to the state if you're like in the state of South Carolina. You have 72 hours to report. So it really depends. DJ Bisek, you got any thoughts on this before we go?
No, I agree with what you said. A lot of it deals with. Hey, I hear myself echo.
Sounds like it's a DJ Bisek audio problem. Ladies and gentlemen, for a change, it's not me.
Am I echoing now?
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Let me take myself off stream altogether and see if your echo problems are solved.
Now do I echo? No, I don't echo. It's not me. Perfect.
Where? Well, the good news is I have to leave in a few minutes, so no. I'm muting my feed. Like, there should be no reason that you're getting an echo.
Yeah. No, I get an echo now.
Okay, well, it was great seeing DJ Bisek. Hey, welcome, everybody. The echo problem's been solved. So this is Jerry coming in. All right.
Oh, that's amazing.
How do you define? We got a couple questions left. Like I said, I got a hard stop at 9:30 here. And shout out to Burnaby Rosario, who's Team Solo. We are recognizing Team Solo. Those are individuals who are one-person shop. Basically, they are the InfoSoc shop, and they don't have the ability to jive with other practitioners. The definition of zero trust, Nick Barker, if in a perfect academic sense, is that you have no trust for any user or device, and they need to authenticate for every resource access, whether they're logging into a system, whether they're accessing a folder on a share, whatever. Zero trust is, I don't trust anything or anyone. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what your permissions are. You need to prove who you are every single time. That is zero trust by definition. Now, it can be realized in many different ways. You can use network segmentation where you can't even get to this network, let alone try to authenticate into it. Just, you're not allowed here. That's what that is. Here we go. Nick Barker for BSEC. What's your favorite make and model of firewall, DJ BSEC?
Hello. There we go. I muted everything so I wouldn't be muted. My favorite firewall is the one that's in and working. I don't care what model it is as long as it actually is working.
A true Tom Brady answer. My favorite receiver is the open one. All right, very good. And for those who don't know, Tom Brady, pretty much the GOAT of football. Probably many documentaries about him. You know what I'm talking about. Toasty Pops. Patrick Mahomes is cute, but like let's pump the brakes on, Okay, here we go. Where do you go to check reported data breaches? Tom Bishop's asking. You can go a number of places, honestly. You can go to Have I Been Pwned? Like, that's kind of like your own thing. I mean, that's a huge one. I'm trying to think. Is there a good data breach repo? Like, not necessarily to pull the data, but to see.
Depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I
guess.
Go HHS. They'll have theirs.
Yeah, so Angular saying I'm not muting the external input. I'm using a mixing board and I'm muting the mixing board. The mixing board is configured as my main external audio out, right? So like, and now I'm unmuted and you can hear me. So I don't know. We'll work through it. Yeah, Tom Bishop. It kind of depends on what you're looking for. I mean,
We
if
only
you want
got
to
2
get
minutes left, so
yeah, no problem. All right. Larry Shervington, Air Force, looking to pick up a new laptop this holiday season. Any suggestions? Something that can handle relatively low-level video editing. Personally, I run a Lenovo Legion. In my opinion, if you're looking for a computer, whether it's laptop or desktop, to do any level of video anything, you want to get a gaming laptop. Whether you don't have to be gaming, but gaming laptops typically have GPUs in them. The GPUs can do video processing and that type of stuff. I say Lenovo Legion only because that's what I use and I've been happy with it. BSEC, you got a laptop, Rec?
I use the same thing.
There you go, Lenovo Legion. I got mine at Costco for what it's worth. Great price, warranty. I forget what I paid, but it wasn't prohibitive. ZMF wants to know, BSEC, are you the Wizard of Oz?
Don't pay any attention to me.
Do not look at DJ BSEC directly. So Nathan Allison says, can you show an example of a CFP you completed? I know you were going to show me an example, but ran out of time. Sure. Hold on. Do I have a CFP? Hold on one second. DJ BSEC, can you answer a question? I'll quickly pull up a CFP.
Yeah, I was looking. I saw something Terrence Tech just put in. Is element better than signal? I don't know what element is. I'm assuming it's a.
For that reason, I would say no.
Shit. Yeah. I'm trying to research it. Oh, secure collaboration element.io. I'd have to look at it and then come back and reply. Maybe I can look it up and do it tomorrow.
All right, so really quick, Nathan Allison, and I run dark mode on my Google Docs, so it's going to look a little janky, but just bear with me here really quickly. Let me share my screen. Let me share this. This is a abstract I submitted to B-Sides Romania, which got accepted. I'm going to B-Sides. I'm going to be speaking at B-Sides Romania in May of 2025. So just ignore this. This would look normal if it was not dark mode. But I put my profile picture here. And then here's the abstract. Here's the title. What are you going to get? Transforming Cybersecurity Culture, 5 Proven Techniques for Immediate Risk Reduction. And then I outline why my talk is needed. Then I outline the meat of my talk, and then most importantly, I explain that what attendees will get. They will leave with ready-to-use templates, action plans, and enabling them to confidently execute the strategies at their next workday. Like literally, I'm delivering value that you can implement immediately. Then I provide a bio of who I am, so they can take it, and if they want to accept it, they can just crack it right into the program. Again, you're trying to deliver value, and you're also trying to make it easy on them to take your talk and go with it. All right, I've got to get out of here. And actually, let me see. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm calling an Uber here. All right, let's go. All right, BSEC, you ready to roll?
Let's go.
All right, hey, everybody. Thank you so very much. Really enjoyed it. This was episode 765-ish of Jawjacking. Be sure to check out Casually Joseph later today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and then DJ BSEC at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on AOC on their respective channels. Put an exclamation point AOC in chat right now, and Nightbot will drop links to those. Thank you so very much, DJ BSEC. Always nice having you behind the glass, and then coming out to answer some questions as well.
See you guys.
All right, cheers.